maybe what we should do is think about some of the questions that we get asked, and we'll answer them live. This is a podcast Q&A.
Ooh, okay.
So because we've been asked so many times, from Germany, from India, from Iran, from Pakistan, from Afghanistan has asked us, from Switzerland has asked us. I'm now free to say, see you later.
Yeah, and that's the important thing, is just to keep your options open and have those conversations. Because again, I get it, especially for a lot of younger people. The prospects of owning a home and that percentage of people who see themselves owning a home in the near future is just dropping and dropping. We're seeing...
And I think that it's a great question. I think a lot of people think realtors are super rich, you know, and again, this isn't the TV shows that
not HGTV, not TLC or any of those where you walk in, you have a deal. There are troubles along the way, but it all comes together in the end, and you walk away with $200,000. If only.
Real estate tips.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tara and Austin.
Yeah.
Welcome back, kiddo.
We're back. It's been so long.
Same clothes. Oops, forgot to change.
It's been a whole week since we last recorded.
We did. Anyhow, hopefully all of you are enjoying the new set. Hopefully you guys can see it okay. I'll be anxious to see how it looks.
How it turns out, how it sounds. Yeah.
But it's been an interesting week. We've got some new listings coming up.
Yes.
You're continuing to be on your Be Healthy journey. Yep. How are you feeling about where you're at with that? Because you know we get asked this every time we go live.
I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I mean, we talked about it a little bit in the last episode, but long story short, I'm trying to be a lot more healthy this year. I thought I turned you off, phone.
It's a client.
Yeah, but basically what's happening is I feel like I'm losing weight.
I can tell you
I feel like I am. And the funny thing is, when I sort of like recommitted myself to it, we did a live maybe a few days after I got the Fitbit. I started doing walks. And someone was like, wow, Austin, you've lost weight. And I was like...
They said your face looked thinner, didn't they?
My face looked smaller. My face looked thinner. And I was like, holy smokes, it's been 5 days.
Yeah, you know what though, I just feel like, I feel like the human body responds well to any type of exercise, even if it is going for a walk, if you're, that's all you can do, right? It just goes to show you how our bodies do need that as well.
Yeah.
Right? But that's good. As you know, I'm very, very proud of you. Mm-hmm. We are going to continue to do a lot of lives, everybody. We'll try to squeeze them in when we can. I know that our dear friend Nupur, who has become our friend.
Yeah.
We've never met her.
Pretty much.
We've never met her, but I know she watches when she can. Boy, she's an avid gym person, this one.
Oh, yeah, she is.
My God. Every time we talk to her on the community tab, she's 3 hours in the gym. I'm telling you, fit she is. But she always asks questions about, I want to talk to you about I want to hear about your entrepreneurial, here we go.
You had it right the first time.
Here we go.
You had it right the first time.
Happens every time.
Yep.
Doesn't it?
Yep, it does.
I'm trying to film today and I was trying to say champion. Couldn't say it. Oh, said it fine now. Couldn't say it. Yep. So anyway, she wanted to talk a little bit about being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
There, that's easier.
Yeah.
Okay. And I feel like this question has come up a few times. So maybe this is a perfect opportunity because we have no script. We have no idea what we're doing right now. We're tired.
Yep.
maybe what we should do is think about some of the questions that we get asked, and we'll answer them live. This is a podcast Q&A.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
So, number one question that we get asked, what would you say is the number one question?
Where are you guys from?
Yeah, fair. We ask the same thing, don't we?
True.
Tell us where you're from.
Yep, we
Yeah.
are homegrown Canadians from Ontario. We are east of Toronto by about an hour and a half.
We are, yes, we are. I would say we get asked that a lot. The second question I think that we get asked from people all over the world, and I am so honored to answer this question right now. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on Trudeau?
Okay, we're doing this.
See you later.
Jesus.
Bye-bye. Yeah. And Austin right now is like dying because we've had this conversation on our last live as well. So we don't share our political opinions. We don't want this to be a political-based channel.
You say as you willingly bring up
later,
Trudeau.
Gator, he's gone.
Yes,
Anyway,
he is
so
resigning
there
in
we go.
March.
To everybody that says, what are your thoughts on Trudeau? I'm going to sum it up. Bye-bye. Hopefully you can get back into the high school to teach later. I don't know, because you're out of a job.
All right.
Okay.
Looking forward to seeing that like-dislike ratio on this episode.
I don't think he's watching us, son. No, I didn't say I didn't like the Liberal Party.
Okay, we're still going.
I didn't say that. I did not say that. I just said that's a question we get asked, and I am very happy to say my answer is see you later, alligator.
I said it before. Again, I'll say this again. It amazes me that people feel strongly about him, just at all.
That was a slam to
Like-
his mama.
Like in
Yeah.
either direction. Like for some people who like love him and swear by him, like I don't get it. And for people who condemn him as the death of Canada, I don't get it.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
He's whatever.
This is why we don't really become a political-based channel. First of all, there's lots of channels to watch.
Lots of channels for that. Yeah.
But, there are extremists on every side. This one is not an extremist.
Right.
But because we've been asked so many times from Germany, from India, from Iran, from Pakistan, from Afghanistan has asked us, from Switzerland has asked us. Switzerland asked us. I'm now free to say, see you later. So that's it. What other questions do we get asked?
Well, let's see. What do we do for fun?
Well, you're going to have to answer that one.
Okay.
I work.
All right. Well, for me, I like to browse the web. I'm a very indoor person. I go on a lot more walks now. But I also enjoy the good video game. If you've seen my Silent Hill 2 review, if you haven't, check that out.
Your first review, and it
Yes.
did very, very well. I don't know how many views we've got so far.
Haven't checked.
But I thought
Yeah.
it was getting close to the 8,000 or somewhere around there, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. So I did that. Liked how it went. I'm probably going to do more. Think
You should.
Think I've got an outline for another game-related video in mind. I'm working on it now. But I do a lot of that. I read on occasion, not as much as I did when I was a little kid, admittedly.
You used to be a really big reader.
I was a big reader when I was a
Yeah,
little
I
kid.
feel like you should do it again. I feel like sometimes it's hard to read because the TV and gaming and, our phones take us away from that old school kind of,
Sure.
grab a book or a Kindle,
Yeah, true.
right? Or your tablet.
Yeah. Oh, you were big on the Kindle for a while.
Yeah, I was given it as a gift. I think it was a birthday gift a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I did. I wasn't sure how I would feel because I'm a book.
Right.
I
You
really
like the
do
pages.
love to read. I love to read. And there's something about holding a book. But as you get older, your eyes get worse. And even though I have reading glasses, sometimes that print is still too small. So with the Kindle, expand the print.
Oh, yeah, that's very helpful.
So it worked out good. And then last year when we went away, I used my iPad and I downloaded books on there.
Right.
So it is easier when you're traveling.
Oh, for
'Cause
sure.
trying to put 3 or 4
Lugging around
books
a lot
in
of
your
books in a suitcase
they're not
when it's already full of
light.
clothes and traveling supplies.
And we're
Yeah.
already getting charged, if we go over, if our suitcases are too heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so that's a question.
That's a
Can
common
you
question
think
we
of
get.
Can you think of any others?
All right. Let's see. In regards to, well, we have like a lot of basic questions. Like we often get asked, like, what's our favorite animals, things like that.
Yes, we've been asked that.
Yeah.
We answered very good.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
we get people ask us about Andrew.
yes,
Yeah.
when's Andrew coming
When's
on?
Andrew coming on? Hopefully
They're
soon.
they're busy. They're
We've
very
been
busy
saying that
right
for
now.
a year. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a lot going on.
They do. They do. But you never know. Never say never, right?
One day it'll happen. One day.
I think so, too.
We're just not sure which day.
They definitely want to. They've always been encouraged to come on, but
Yeah.
not everybody's schedule can fit.
Yeah.
Especially when we film too, because we film really sometimes around, an hour that I have free.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And on top of that, it's also location. Like they live 2.5 hours away from us.
Yep.
So if we were to record, say, from here, that's a 2.5 hour drive for them, and then a 2.5 hour drive back.
And that wouldn't be. I think if that was the case, I'd rather rent a studio closer to them so we all did the traveling
Yeah.
instead of them. But we'll see. We'll see. The bottom line is, as you guys can see, for anybody that kind of wants to know Andrew and Nicole a little bit, their faces are in our promo
Yep.
before every episode. So you
Yes.
can always flash. And some of our followers are following me on Instagram,
Yep.
Tara Lee Real Estate. So you'll certainly see an occasional picture pop up there to help everybody get to know
Yeah.
the family a little bit.
But we did see a lot of them over Christmas. They're doing great.
They're doing amazing. Yeah. So hopefully that answers a little bit of the Q&A. A lot of people say, "Oh, Tara, you don't look like you're 57."
You get that a lot, actually.
Yeah. So we're going to attribute that. I'm going to be 58 in 7 weeks. 58. So we're going to be planning my 60th
Yes.
starting like now because it's going to be a big party. And you know what I want to remind you? Because this is why when a mom has boys and no girls, the mom is always wondering, do my boys remember? Your dad's turning 60 this year.
Yep.
Oh, you knew?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there's plans in action. All right.
Honest,
There you go, Dave. I had your back.
what I was thinking was in our first or second episode, we were recording that right before your birthday. And one of the first
We did.
and one of the first topics we ever talked about was the logistics of planning where to go for your birthday, whether to have us try to surprise you or whether for you to pick the place
Okay,
for
well,
us.
first of all, let's just take this back. It wasn't for a party, it was for dinner.
I know.
And that's where we were saying, yeah, but what if we took you to McDonald's? And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. The place that I had in my mind thought that we would, clearly do for my 60th is now, has been sold. So that was, I found out last week. So that was a super, super, super bummer to
Right.
me. So now I'm going to have to figure out where to have it.
Replan. Maybe we'll do
Replan.
maybe we'll do the
enough
keg or
people
something.
that have no, this is a party. Like this is a band. This is not a backyard thing. We're doing it right.
This isn't some backyard event where we go to the keg.
It's like you don't even know me. Have you never met me before? The keg? No.
Too casual.
No, but some of the staff at the keg might be invited because a lot of them are my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So, so we'll have to figure that out. But,
Yeah.
okay, so the question of the day, why do I not look 58? First of all, you guys are seeing me on a camera with there's lots of lights. Anybody can look good with the right lighting. Number 2, I drink a ton of water. A ton
Yeah.
of water. I do not eat junk food.
Goes a long way.
My diet is always super, super, super strict. I've never been, when I was a teenager, I would eat potato chips and stuff, but I could.
Yeah.
You could eat as much as you want. And I never gained a pound. So I'm really super strict on my diet, super strict. And I don't drink very much at all.
Right.
Not even monthly do I have alcohol. It
Yeah,
might be once every 6 months or so.
Pretty much gave that up a couple years ago. You'll still drink for like special events.
Yeah,
but
for sure. Like
not
our
casually
Christmas
anymore.
gathering, for sure I did. But it's just very, maybe every 3 months or so. So very limited alcohol, lots and lots of water, and Botox. And Botox. I do get Botox. So that helps for sure.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. I wish I got more comments about how young I looked. I'll just throw that out there. Everyone in the live is always like, oh man, Tara looks so young. I can't believe she must be only 30. And I'm like, I'm 30. And they're like, oh.
You look older. Yeah, but you know what? We always said this though. When you don't have your beard, you look so young. Like you look way younger than you are. I love your face with the beard. I love that you have this sophistication to you, right? And you have always been an old soul. Like when I was 14, 15, 16, people thought I was in my 20s.
Right.
Everybody always said, you look way older than you were, because I think I just always carried myself as
mature.
I guess more mature than, I don't know if that's the right word, but I don't know. Maybe the apple didn't fall too far from the tree, right?
Maybe, yeah.
And then we get asked about what made us get into real estate, entrepreneur. And I think that it's a great question. I think a lot of people think realtors are super rich, you know, and again, this isn't the TV shows.
Not HGTV, not TLC or any of those where you walk in, you have a deal. There are troubles along the way, but it all comes together in the end and you walk away with $200,000. If only.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, being how do you say this? Having an amazing income with real estate is possible.
Yeah,
but for the TV shows that people watch, whether or not, and God bless the people in LA, I have to say this, my heart is breaking. I am mesmerized on YouTube by watching the live feeds. And from a real estate point of view, because there is the TV show about selling in LA, and those realtors are making hundreds of thousands of dollars per deal.
Yes.
But the sales prices are also
so much higher.
7 million, 25 million, 40 million. And as I was driving to do this podcast and meet you, I was thinking about them, and I'm like, you know, you've got an entire huge upper class community. Just the Palisades alone were typically the wealthiest of the wealthiest.
Yeah.
So these are properties that really were in possibly the 20 million to 30 million or plus, right? And then I'm kind of looking at, then the fires spread. So we've got the Altadena, you know, we've got all of those communities gone. The Eaton fires has wiped out so many, which is what they call more of the blue collar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which their houses are still worth more than they are in Ontario, let me tell you.
Sure. But...
So from a real estate point of view, I'm sitting back there today and I thought, now we have all of those realtors, whether they're on a TV show or not, they're still selling real estate.
Yeah.
And now they've got a significant portion of the inventory
destroyed,
wiped out.
Yeah.
And people that are no longer going to be able to rebuild for numerous years. And a lot of those people may or may not be able to just go out and spend another 6 or 7 million on another property.
Yeah.
So when you're listening to the stories of the people whose homes have been affected, celebrities as well, they're like, this was my nest egg. I bought this place 20 years ago. It may have been worth 10 million now. I bought it significantly. I can't spend the money. I don't have it to just buy new real estate.
Yeah.
This was where my money
And it's all
was
gone.
coming.
And it's all gone.
It's gone. So then I was thinking, what do those realtors do? Because now a major portion of where they were selling is gone. And those are the things that I think before everybody just assumes, oh, you're a realtor, you must be rich. We've had those comments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm like, excuse me? Right? And think about that. What do we do if there's no longer a majority of homes for us to be able to sell?
Yeah.
You know, you can't sell properties to people that don't have the money to buy it.
Yeah.
And those people have lost their homes. So even when it comes to getting a mortgage, their biggest line of collateral is gone. This is a huge effect on Los Angeles's economy that is going to have a major ripple effect.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Right? Same thing for tornado areas. You know, think about these world events. And this is where I would ask people to stop just thinking, oh, you're a realtor, you must be rich. We never know when we're going to close a property. We never know how long it's going to take for a listing to sell, a buyer to buy something.
Right.
What do we do in the meantime? You live within your means, right? So for me, being an entrepreneur started very, very, very young.
Right.
I started at the age of 12. I actually started even earlier. I started probably at the age of 10. And I remember, you know, my parents didn't have a lot. My dad always worked 2 jobs. My mom was usually sick and unable to work. And I remember from a very early age knowing that if I wanted to have a new pair of shoes or shoes that were what my friends were wearing,
Right.
I had to figure out how to earn the money to get them. And that's how it started for me. Mm-hmm. So from the age of 10, my next door neighbor, her and her husband worked the night shift. And I remember them coming home from school, and she caught me in the driveway, and she had 2 kids, David and Candace. They were a lot younger than me. I wish I could remember how old they were. They're on my Facebook. Hey. And she was like, would you sleep with them Monday to Friday nights while my husband and I work shifts, the night shift? If you can come around 11 o'clock, they started at midnight, and they would come home at 7 a.m. So I got paid just a few dollars a week.
Right.
And Monday to Friday when I was 10, I would go, and the kids would already be sleeping, and I would stay and sleep with them. And I just started saving my money. So whenever I needed pants or, you know, I never had to put pressure on my parents to buy me things.
Right.
Right? And then from the age of 12, I just started figuring out how I could expand my babysitting business. And I started calling everybody I knew every single week. I'm free this weekend. Do you need a babysitter? Mm-hmm. And there were so many people that I called that hadn't even thought about going out. And they would be like, I always talk to the wife, right? Because back then, a lot of the wives stayed home. And I'd be like, listen, I got Saturday night free. I just wanted to double check, do you need a babysitter? And they would say, well, let me talk to my husband. And then the next day they'd call me and they'd say, listen, can you be here at 7 o'clock? Yep, no problem. Right. And before I knew it, for over a month ahead, I was booked every weekend, Friday and Saturdays, babysitting. And
Right.
That's how I started becoming what I call an entrepreneur.
Right.
I started figuring out that if I needed the extras, then I had to figure out how to make it happen.
Yeah.
Which is why I think sales just became very natural for me.
Yes.
Very natural.
Yeah, I think so, because you learned from a young age to...
Hustle.
Yeah, hustle, go out and get your business.
I did. But you had to. I
Yeah.
had to, you know, and I think that a lot I'll tell you. If a young boy or girl were, after a snowstorm, were to knock on our door and say, could I shovel your driveway for $20? I don't know what the rate is. I would say, yeah, you can. I have so much respect for young ones who take the initiative. I get it. If you are willing to knock on my door and ask to shovel my driveway, then you're trying to save for something, and I want to be one of those people that help you because you've got initiative.
Right.
Rather than just expecting it to be delivered to you, whether it's through your parents or whatever.
Right.
Right? You don't see that much anymore.
Oh, I guess not. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a very strong work ethic that you've cultivated over the years.
Yeah.
And I think it's really paid off for you because, I mean, you still do a lot of business. You've risen to become manager of a brokerage. You're helping it grow. You're helping it develop.
No, I'm not wealthy, that's for sure. Got to win the lottery. That's the next one.
One day.
That's my next.
One day it'll happen.
I don't know how I got to make that happen, but that's my next. Right? You know, and then that's it. I'm retired.
Then we're done. Yeah.
Then we're done. But yeah, I guess it just, people ask me all the time, Napur, if you're listening, when I say it's mind over matter, I really truly believe that. I have bad days.
Of
My
course.
mind isn't always on point, but I will never give up.
Right.
Ever. And I will never let something take me down. Ever. It's not an option. So if I got to figure out another way to make it happen, then I guess I'll just have to do it. And sometimes you try and it doesn't work.
Hey, sure, yeah. But you never know if you don't try, right?
Yeah. So what would be your biggest real estate tip for people that are listening right now? Maybe no matter what country you're in, doesn't matter because we got people all over the world that are desperate or just want to buy their own property. What is the first thing you think they should do?
I'd say it's a joint first place. First, talk to a realtor, let them know what you're looking for. More importantly, talk to a mortgage agent or a bank to get pre-approved. That is the step one, is to make sure that they've got something in place so that their purchase will go through, hopefully, without any bumps in the road.
Right.
You get that in place, then the rest of the time you can just focus on finding the home that meets your needs.
Perfect.
But
do you find that a lot of people feel like they never will be able to purchase a home?
I think it's growing more common, especially among generational lines.
And I think all over the world.
Yeah.
Right? So if any of you are one of those people where it seems like it's because of house prices, and house prices definitely seem to be high most places, no matter what country you're in.
Yeah.
Don't lose the dream. Don't ever lose the dream of owning a home. And maybe your numbers aren't working for you now, but do you know that if you were able to put even $5, do the math right now, $5 a week aside, that's $20 a month.
Yep.
Times 12.
Around $240-ish dollars.
Okay.
Roughly.
If you just started with a base, put it aside, put it in a piggy bank, whatever you want to do. And then now, when you've got extra money, add it to the pot. Before you know it, because every country has different rules for what you need for a
Very
down
much so,
payment. Before you know it, you could have the money. And different countries as well have different incentives to get people into the housing market. So when I say don't lose your dream, anything is possible, but it starts with you.
Yeah.
If it's $1 a day, if it's $1 a week, put it aside. Right?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Absolutely. And don't be afraid, I think, to start small. It can be easy to fall into the trap of, I mean, going back to what TV shows
Sure.
show, trying to make your first purchase your dream home.
Bigger, better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make sure it hits every single checkbox and manages to fit your price points to the letter.
You know what's being really big right now? The tiny homes.
Yeah.
Buy a tiny home.
Yeah.
Right?
Look at your first house as a stepping stone towards your future, because really that's what it is, because in all likelihood, you're not going to be just living in one place for your entire life.
Exactly.
As you grow older, your needs will change and you'll need a new house to meet those criteria.
Even if you can be there just for 5 years, right? You know, and what I guess to finish this off is there's a lot of different incentives that different governments do provide. I think that's where talking to a mortgage person, a bank, depending on what country you're in, the banker, if that's what they're called, you want to just walk in the door and know what is available. Here in Canada, it was in Ontario. I think it was a federal thing, so I'll say Canada. Maybe about 15 years ago, there was a product that came out that was called 0% financing. So this was a limited time offer. I think they had it for about a year. I don't think it was quite 2 years.
Right.
So maybe a year and a half, where a mortgage product came out where if you didn't have a down payment, you still had to qualify. So they still had qualifications. You know, they had a credit score. You had to make so much money.
Just not the down payment.
But it wasn't a lot. Like a lot of first-time buyers were able to utilize this 0% financing. So what it was it gave you the 5% down. Here in Ontario, Canada, the minimum that you can put down on a mortgage is 5%. So it gave you the 5%.
Okay.
As long as you qualified with all of their
Everything
criteria.
else. Yeah.
What they did was they would take that 5% and they would add it onto your mortgage.
Ah, okay.
So in effect, you were still paying it off.
Just
right?
later. Yeah.
It wasn't for free. And the interest rate was also what they called it a blended rate. So if the average interest rate at that time was 4%, this particular product, because they're giving you the down payment, maybe the interest rate was 5%.
Okay,
It was
yeah.
just slightly higher. But this was a limited time only.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't tell you how many of my buyers in that particular period used that product and got their foot in the door and started building equity.
Not surprised.
So you've got to have conversations regularly
Yes.
with your lending institutions, your bankers, your mortgage people, because new products come available more often than you would think.
Yeah.
Real
Yeah.
estate tips
Exactly. Yeah.
from Tara and Austin.
Yeah, and that's the important thing, is just to keep your options open and have those conversations. Because again, I get it, especially for a lot of younger people, the prospects of owning a home, like you check those talks people have, the ones where they poll people, and that percentage of people who see themselves owning a home in the near future is just
Becoming less and
dropping
less.
and dropping and dropping. We're seeing typically what happens among generations is that the wealth increases with each generation because it gets passed down.
Mm-hmm.
What we're seeing these last few generations is the wealth decreasing.
Mm-hmm.
Each generation is getting poorer than the last.
So
So
cost of living has gone up.
cost of
probably,
living's
yeah.
going up. The wages aren't going up as much as they should be. They are in Canada more so,
Sure.
but still. But you have what's almost becoming a crisis of people going, this is never going to happen for me. I need to work 2 jobs and partner up with someone just to get a condo. So it's very important for you to get your foot in the door and talk to someone to find out your options. Because it's easy
Yeah.
to look in from the outside and despair. But like you said, there's a lot of products out there. So if you explain to someone your situation, to a mortgage broker, to a bank, it's their job to look and find a way to say, okay, here's a way you can get your foot in the door. It probably won't be perfect, but it's the first step.
And they'll also put you on a path to getting your foot on the door.
Yeah.
So they'll go over with you and say, okay, for the next year or 2 years, try to do this.
Follow this
Right?
plan. Yeah.
I think what we're seeing as well is in Ontario, Canada, the rental market has skyrocketed. So you get people that want to leave home, they want to be on their own. We get it as parents, but then they're spending $3,000 Canadian on a small condo in the city.
Per month, yeah.
And that's eating up all of their income.
Yeah.
So then there's no room to save. So my advice as a parent, I'm speaking for myself, is if these kids want to get their foot in the door in real estate, sometimes you may just need to live at home a little longer, but save.
Yes.
Save your money, because once you get out there, especially if you decide to rent first, these rental markets are increasingly getting higher and higher. Although yesterday the Toronto Real Estate Board came out with the stat that between November and December, rents actually started to come down.
Yeah.
So we need it because
Yeah.
they're very expensive.
Absolutely. And listen, sometimes renting's necessary. Sometimes it is the best option.
Sure, of course.
In the short term. If you're renting long term, that's when it starts to become a problem, because odds are your monthly rent payment is going to be higher than your monthly mortgage payment in a lot of cases.
In a lot of cases, yeah. But you know what? Real Estate 101 with Tara and Austin.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the next time we'll throw in a little game or two.
Maybe, yeah.
I think
It's
that
been a little while.
you're going to Sum 41 with your dad
Yes.
in a couple of weeks. So I think the next time that we film, this is what I was thinking today, I'm going to quiz you on Sum 41 songs.
Are you?
Well, we'll see. We'll see if he can sing them when he's with his dad at the Sum 41 concert.
Their
January
final
31st.
show.
All right.
Supposedly.
Listen, everybody, we need your help. We are surpassed 36,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. We owe it all to you guys. Not all of you are watching, sadly. So we need you guys to watch. We've got the playlist. You can actually just click on a playlist
Every
and let
video.
it run. Don't forget to turn the notification bell on, because we do go live quite often, and you'll be able to not miss it. Also, we need you guys, we really need you guys to leave comments. It helps with the algorithm, which is what pushes our podcasts out to everybody else. We can't do this without you. So if you could do those things, you'd make this old lady happy.
Hey, you gotta make her happy.
We're just laughing through life, everybody, with a mom and her son.
Indeed we are. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in. It's been another great episode.
Yeah.
Nice to get back into the swing of things, back to recording. We hope to see you guys again soon. And remember, life's crazy. We can't change that, but we can talk about it.
And we do.
Take care, everybody.
Peace out.